with all of your success as an actor and, being so well known, at what point did you kind of look in the mirror and say, I think I got more in me and I don't think I'm using it the way I want to use it and I want to go into philanthropy?
Yeah, I would say kind of things in the 80s and 90s sort of teed me up to get more involved and to take action after September 11th. That no question. There's the last time I came on your show, my book was just coming out, and I think you were one of the first interviews that I did for my book, and it's called Grateful American: A Journey from Self to Service. And there's a chapter in the book called Turning Point, and it really is the September 11th chapter. What happened to me emotionally? Where my interests shifted, and how I went from kind of this focus on my acting career and building a theater company and doing all that kind of thing and starting in the movies and everything, to just taking all of that and shifting it into service work. And I wanted to help the men and women who were deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan. I'd been involved with Vietnam veterans going back years and years. Got involved with the Disabled American Veterans Organization in the 90s after I played the wounded guy in Forrest Gump, started supporting them. And I just felt like I don't want to sit around and just, not do anything. I want to help these people that are deploying, and they're getting hurt. They're getting hurt. We're losing them. Families are losing their loved ones here in Afghanistan and Iraq. And I just didn't want to sit around and do nothing. So it manifested into much more than I could have predicted, way back when I started. What's
your family history with service or the military? I can't remember if we talked about that before, or is there any?
Yeah, it's pretty extensive. So I would say that's where it starts. My grandfather, World War I, drove an ambulance in France on the front line in the Battle of the Argonne. The Battle of the Argonne is, in American history, we've never lost more people in one battle than that. It was over 26,000 lost in that. And he was driving an ambulance through all that craziness. Then he had 3 sons. 2 served in World War II, and my dad served in the Navy. My dad was the youngest of the 3, and he served in the Navy during the Korean War. And then I met my beautiful wife, Moira. She had 2 brothers who served in Vietnam. She had a sister served in the Army who married a Vietnam veteran who's served in the Army for over 20 years. They had a son who's served in the Army, went to Afghanistan twice. A lot of veterans in my family. So it kind of starts there. And I would say the Vietnam veterans on my wife's side of the family were the ones, because they were just slightly older than I was. My dad, my grandfather, my uncles, by the time I was old enough, they were well beyond World War II and Korea and everything. They never talked about any of it. But it was the Vietnam veteran side that really kind of woke me up. And I just started thinking about how oblivious I was as a high school kid in the early 70s to what our Vietnam veterans were going through. And then I met Vietnam veterans and they told me. And I felt kind of guilty about it, that I had been so unaware. And so I just took up the charge in the 80s to try to do something for our Vietnam veterans. And then I played one in the 90s. And then I was teed up for September 11th to go all in.
It's like when my wife says, Joe, we should consider leaving LA. Bullshit. We're not leaving. Okay, our parents came here with nothing. This city has given us so many opportunities. It's gone to shit. And I'm tired of it. And I can only have done so much as a one of 15 members. And why should we leave?